People at the top make all the money. That's what we're going to be talking about today. Hi, my name is Tim Sells. If we haven't met yet, I've been in the network marketing industry for about 30 years. I've made many millions of dollars. I taught network marketing at the University of Illinois Chicago on a certificate course. I was interviewed by Larry King on the topic of pyramid schemes, Ponzi schemes, and legitimate network marketing, as well as Grant Cardone. I was interviewed by him as well. And so I'm taking all that knowledge and expertise and I'm breaking down the industry into little bite-sized pieces. I'm not here to convince anybody to join network marketing, and I'm not here to convince somebody to not join network marketing. It's just brought me so much joy in my life and fun and a consistent income for over 30 years. And so I'm just sharing that knowledge with you. Okay, so let's jump into this. Okay, so these are two different concepts. I know they're always said in one rhyme, but people at the top make all the money is the way it is. But I want you to, in your mind, break it down into two different concepts, okay? So who says this? Well, I've heard the news media say it. College professors say it. Attorneys, even attorney generals say it. Brother-in-law, neighbors, parents, and kids. Must be true, right? Since everybody knows it that way. Well, let's see. The first concept is that top of what? All right, and so I know you probably immediately said right there, right? That's what most people think. And it's actually not the case. I am the top distributor in my company. It happened about 7 years ago. I know the math doesn't work that I've been in the industry for 30 years. So I was in another company. I built it, retired for 18 years, and then the company bought my business back from me. Okay. So then 7 years ago, I joined a network marketing company and I was number one. And I'll never forget it. It was in July. It was the 1 month of my son's birthday. All right. And so he was born a month earlier. And so I was sitting there and I'm now the number one distributor on top of what? Nothing. I didn't start any different way than anybody ever starts network marketing. Wherever you come in, you're on the top of nothing. You're not at the bottom, you're on the top of nothing because it's your business, all right? So that's the first kind of a concept to get into your mind. Way back in the 70s, Federal Trade Commission sued Amway, and once those books got opened up, they were able to reveal that there were many people within the structure who made more money than the people above them. All right, and this was kind of shocking to everybody. And so that's when it first came out. But I've been in the industry, again, 30 years. I was a consultant to about 200 network marketing companies and top leaders throughout the whole world. And I've never seen one single company ever where the first person in made the most money. And what would make sense to people would be the first person in and then everybody's under them. Well, they maybe have everybody under them, but there's a finite number of levels that you earn money on, okay? And I only have 3 here because I run out of space. But let's say it's 5 or it's 6 levels deep or whatever, 7 levels deep. And what you do in your levels is the only thing that matters, okay? And so let me walk you through another one here. So if this is you, and this person right here brings that person in, everything that they build is going to be out of your pay plan. Okay? So because it cuts off right here. And so that person, now you'll get paid on that person's volume, but you won't get paid below that. And so that person could build a more powerful organization. And I'm talking about more sales volume, not necessarily people, okay? And so the more volume that this person creates, then that person can make more money than this person, and this person, okay? That is not just telling you that people lower in the ranks can make more money, but actually showing you how that happens. And it happens quite a bit. It happens in my organization. There are many people in my organization who make more money than me, all right? You know what? One more point I saw as that was going by, and that is that, and the reason being is because each level has the same compensation. In other words, every person who comes in, even though they're circles here, those are human beings who want to build their own business, right? And they're just utilizing the resources from the parent company called the network marketing company. And so, but everybody gets the same pay plan, right? So that's the reason that this person can earn more than this, because it's all based on production. All right, now. So I showed you the network marketing industry. Then let's talk about corporation, any other corporation. Let's take Microsoft, for example. It's not any different. Bill Gates comes up with an idea. I'm not sure that it was Bill Gates who came up with the idea, but for this conversation, it really doesn't matter. Let's just say that Bill had an idea, and he seized the moment, and he said, I'm going to build a company. What's he on top of? Nothing. Right? He forms a corporation, so all he has is a logo, a simple one, and himself, right? And so then he goes out and he, maybe gets one partner and then another promoter kind of a guy, so a geek and a promoter, and then they divide up the shares of the company and they start building, and then when they're taxed out and they can't do anything more, then they're going to try to bring somebody into the company to help run operations and stuff, right? So that they can make bigger decisions. And so they bring in a CEO, and the CEO wants some sort of a pay package, right? And so there's negotiations that go on, and so, they agree and they negotiate or whatever, and then they get the pay structure, right? The compensation structure. And then the CEO, all right, he runs out of time or talent, and so he's then going to get a president. And what's he going to do with the president, right? Human relations is going to negotiate with the president, and they're going to come out with a pay compensation plan, right? And so maybe this guy here, he gets stock options also if he meets performance. The president might get stock options if he meets performance criteria. And then the middle managers typically do not get those kind of packages, although anything is possible, right? Anybody can write any compensation idea that they want into a company. And then the employees, typically don't get any kind of a stock option package, but they get a different compensation plan than these people do. And these people get a different compensation than these people do, and a different one than that. That's what's different. Over here, everybody has the same compensation structure, and it's all based on performance. Okay? Resume, gifted, all that stuff doesn't come into play. You have to produce. Your education level, and none of that, it doesn't hurt, but it doesn't help. Production's the only thing, okay? And that's an awesome part about it. Okay, so just in one final look, the main point is that the reason that people lower in the ranks can make more money is because everybody has the same compensation. In this one, the reason that each level earns less is because they have a different structure, and that is what creates the chain of command, as in who is able, if you will, to tell who what to do, right? So that's what the chain of command is all about there. And this person makes more money, so they are therefore in charge. And they tell people what to do. And then the president tells the middle managers what to do, and the CEO, and so forth. Okay, and so these people, because they got in at the beginning, they make billions of dollars. These guys make millions. These guys may, all right, but at least hundreds of thousands. And then here, depending upon if they're a programmer, top-level programmer or whatever, and so each level earns a little bit less. All right. Okay, so this is the U.S. military. I was in Navy Spec Ops way back in the day. And I started part-time in network marketing. And when I first got into the military, and everybody who comes into the military as an enlisted person, they're going to enter right here. And they're going to be an E1, enlisted 1. And the income today is $1,638. But it was a whole lot more 30, 40 years ago, okay? And then officers come in here, and they're an O1, okay? So 1,638, and then you go all the way up here to the top, and you can see 10,000 534. I know you can't read it probably from there, but that's what it is. 10,000. All right. And so that's about 1,600 there. Okay. So picture this. There's about 300 of these people in the military, and there's 1.3 million in the whole military. So, okay, well, let's just march up the ranks, right? And get all the way up to 08, okay? Maybe not, because there's only 300, and that's limited. They don't allow any more than 300. And so literally somebody has to retire or die in order for a spot to open up to get one more person up there. And down here and everywhere, they have something called time in grade. In other words, when I wanted to advance, let's say from E5 to E6, once I became E5, I could not advance without time in grade, as they called it. These are pay grades. And that means that I was going to have to wait 2 years. And I hated that, right? It's like, it doesn't matter what I do, I cannot get a pay raise. And so once that 2 years happened, then I was up for eligibility and I got it, right? Okay, great. Now I got to wait another 2 years. Right? So I wanted something myself where I could go out and perform and get paid. Okay? And here I had to perform, and there were notations of my performance, the way that I dressed and the way that I, exercised and the way that I, performed my duties and the way that I respected my seniors and the way that all these things were in there. And so they drove you to be a good performer, if you will, but you didn't get a pay rate until you were up for pay grade increase. And so I wanted something where I could just go out and perform and make more money. Okay. So that's the military. And then the last thing I want to show you here, and this has to do with the disproportion from the bottom to the top. And so people talk about that, and they say, the people at the bottom make nearly nothing, and the people at the top make all the money. And that should have, you should understand that a little bit better now that I explained to you the concept of on top of what. The reason the people at the bottom, and I say bottom because I don't really even view it. They're on top of nothing is all that it is. And so they haven't built it yet. They don't have the production or the skill set yet. And so it's just like anything when you first start. They've got to do that and get better at it and rehearse it and figure out how to do it wrong and how to do it right. At least they have help with it, okay? And so this was done by a gentleman by the name of Ray Dalio, and so much respect for that man because of the way that he broke down the economy. He's a billionaire. And he said that what we have here is that the top 0.1% of the wealthy people is worth the bottom 90% combined. Now that's a tongue twister, so let me explain that, okay? So right over here, this is 90% of the U.S. working class. And this pink area right here, not the red one, the pink area is 99% or 99 and more. Okay, 99%. Okay, so that's the part that's right there. And then that top sliver at the top is 0.1%. And those people own the same amount of assets as the lower 90% of America. As a matter of fact, I'm pretty sure the statistic is correct, that the 1/10 phenomenon is also true worldwide in that they own 50% of the world's wealth. All right, and so there is a wealth gap in absolutely everything. If you ever broke down and said, how much do the shareholders, not stock trading, but the shareholders of Microsoft make, how much do they make? How many billions are they worth? And then break it down and say, okay, how much is that in ratio, wealth gap meaning, to the employees, right? You'd find probably the same statistic, and it would have to be that same statistic, because if 1/10 of 1% control 90% of all the wealth in America, the lower 90%, then that means that almost every corporation would have to have that same statistic in order for it to be the way that it is in America. And so, in summary, people at the top, you now know what that means, make most of the money. That is true in network marketing. So does every structure. Okay? No structure where the least productive people make the most money. I mean, can you imagine us starting a corporation or a company and saying, you know what, we're going to do this for the little guy. You know what, we're going to pay the least productive people the most amount of money. And we are just going to take, just a couple of pennies. That's fair, right? How long would that company last? Okay, so you have to pay the top performers the most. It's the only way it works. Otherwise, it's just welfare. Network marketing is different because everyone has the same compensation, and people at lower levels do earn more than those above it. I appreciate you watching. Please do me a favor and comment down below. If you appreciate this video, give me a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel so that you get notifications when I release new videos on topics such as this. Thanks again. I'll see you in the next video.